Hello everybody, Steven here with Cardboard Coalition, and today I figured I'd bring you a how to play for Century Golem Edition by Plan B Games. I know this has been out for a little bit, but I recently got it, learned how to play it. I'm trying to see if I can show you all the player count. Learned how to play it, and decided since I learned how to play it, I'd teach it to you guys. Plus it's archived now, right? So this is for ages 8 plus, 2 to 5 players, and it takes 30 to 45 minutes. All right. Now I should say, we are going to teach you guys how to play, because at some point you might get the cartoon that's off the table staring very intently at the game, but we'll see. All right, so first let's go over the setup. This is a pretty simple, fun game to play. It's based on Century Spice Road. This is just the Golem version. Just depends on what theme you like more. I like the crystals more in this one. I like the golems more. I do like the historical, but this one was the first one to come on sale. I actually bought the other editions, which are Endless World, and then I found Eastern Mountains for really cheap, and then around Black Friday time, this one came out really cheap. But okay, you don't care about that. You want to know how to set up. So let's get into the setup. First thing you do is you shuffle the point cards. Right? The back of the deck has the golems on it, so you shuffle those up and you go ahead and set 5 of them out. Right? The next thing that you do is you go ahead and take copper coins and you put them right here. You take silver coins and you put them over, I guess we can count that the 1 and the 2 position. After you've completed that, the next thing that you do is you set up the merchant cards. But first what you do is you want to find the ones that have this purple border. And it'll have I think this is craft 2 and this is upgrade is what they say. But you'll have a craft 2 and an upgrade 2, and everyone has them. There's enough for 5 people to play. But you go ahead and grab these, separate them from the merchant deck, which has the crystals on the back, and you give them to each player so they have 1 of each. So we have that set up right here. They both have 1 of each. Then you go ahead and you shuffle up the deck and you put out 6 of the merchant cards. It's the merchant deck, right? The merchant deck, the merchant cards, yep. Then once you have that done, you go ahead and you separate the color of crystals. They already have them separate. When you read it, it sounds like they're all just together. The box has them in these little trays. So you want to put them out, and you want to put them out in this order from lowest value to highest. So you have yellow, green, turquoise, and magenta. And one of the things that I've noticed is it actually looks kind of cool like that because they make a diamond shape. But this way I can fit it all into the screenshot, in the camera's view, whatever it is. All those kind of things. All right, once you have that done, the next thing you do is you give each player a caravan. But before you do that, you have a set of them, depending on how many players, and you shuffle them and then pass them out blindly. This is how you figure out who the first player is. If you see right here, you have the crystals. So you hand everybody one, you shuffle them, hand them out, and then when they flip it over, someone goes, oh, I'm the first player. So then you know. Once you know who the first player is, you give the first player 3 yellows. Woo. The second player gets 4 yellows. And you don't have to worry about it. You have a little chart right down here in the setup on how to do it. So second player gets 4 yellows. If there's a third player, they would get 4 yellows. Now I got a glance. The 4th and 5th players get 3 yellows and 1 green. So go ahead and set that up. We're obviously set for a 2-player. Now that's all set up, we're ready to go. So what this game is you're living in a world that has golems. Crystals are used to make those golems. You are a crystal merchant. You're trying to get crystals up to give to the masters that make these golems. And by giving them to the masters, you're basically not buying these golems, but you're getting those points, right? So the goal of the game is to have the most points at the end of the game. And you get those points from the cards, and you get them from crystals, certain crystals, not yellows, and you get them from these coins. But we'll talk about that in the end on how you score everything. Now, how you go about getting those crystals as you basically collect and convert. So you got some things you can do. You have to, on your turn, starting with the first player and going clockwise around the board, you have to play. Oh, you don't have to play. You have to do at least one thing. The first thing is play a card from your hand. So you'd want to play a card from your hand. Well, it's one of the things you can do. One of the things you can do is play a card from your hand. You could play an upgrade card. You might want to upgrade these crystals. With this upgrade card, you can upgrade one crystal twice, right? So you can go a yellow, green up to a blue, right? You could swap these out and say, oh, I played that for this yellow and I wanted a blue. Or what you can do is you can upgrade 2 crystals once. So you can upgrade 2 of these like that to 2 greens. Oops, trying to get 3 greens out there. That's one of the things that you can do. The other thing that you can do on your turn, you have to do one of these things, is you can choose to acquire a merchant card. So these are merchant cards right here. How you acquire them is you pay, which sounds weird, but just follow me for a second. This one is free. The far left position is always free. But let's say I wanted this one right here, right? I would have to pay 2 crystals, and it could be any crystals I have, right, to get this card. I would take this card, it would then go into my hand. And then you would shift everything over, and you would draw another card. And so next, if someone gets this card, they would also get the crystal that's on there. So that's the second thing you can do. You can acquire a merchant card. You can rest. If you play, let's say you've played cards, you've played all your cards, you have no cards in your hand, or maybe you've only played 2 of them, but because of the conversions that you want to do, you want to get those cards back right now, you can decide to rest. What you do when you rest is you take all your cards and you put them back in your hand. When a card's played, it stays out until you rest. All right, so now they got them back in their hand. All right, that's resting. And the last thing that you can do is you can claim one of the golems. I think sometimes they're buildings, but these all are golems on this one. You claim a golem. To do that, you have to have the matching stones at the bottom. And so on your turn, what you would do, let's, for argument's sake, say that the second player actually had enough, right? So let's say that they've played through, this is what they have. They would pay this cost, right? Pay it out. They'd grab this golem. And if they're, and you put them in a score pile, I'll just put them maybe sideways down here for now to fit everything in the screen. You just put them in a score pile, but you also get one of these coins. And you just kind of start making a stack. Coins are worth points at the end. All right. So if someone buys the golem, wherever it's at, you slide everything to the left and you pull out another card and you set it down. Is that a building? No, it's a golem too. All right. So then you set it down. If these coins ever, well, they will run out. If these run out, you go ahead and put these out. Now off the top of my head, I don't remember if I said it. When you put out the coins, it's 2 times the amount of players, just in case in this setup. It's 2 times the amount of players. But if coins run out, like you get everyone gets the copper coins, you just shift the coins from here to there. Whoever buys this one gets that coin. Now, right here, you could still buy this card and you would just get one of these coins, right? I did see a setup where people had it like this, where you just keep putting a coin on the card. It's kind of smart. It doesn't say to do that though, but it's a way to do it. All right, so those are the 4 things you can do. You can play a card from your hand. You can acquire a merchant card. You can collect up. You can rest, which just means you collect up all your cards that you've previously played. Or you can go ahead and buy a golem. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind. Your caravan has 10 slots. That means you could only hold 10 crystals. Your hand of cards is unlimited. You can have as many cards in your hand as you have, but only 10 crystals. You can have as many golems. Well, the end game starts at a certain point. We'll talk about it in a second. But there's a limit, but it's in game starting for the golems. But for the caravan, you can have 10. It can be any color, but you can have 10. Now, let's say this was all filled up and you decide to get some stones. You can decide to get rid of a stone on your caravan and replace it. You can only swap them out, but you can only have 10 stones in your caravan at a time. Now, how the end game is triggered is when a player gets their 5th golem, right? So let's say player 1 over here gets their 5th golem, right? Let's just argue coins would be gone and everything, but let's argue that they got that golem, right? So as usual, you shift all these over, go ahead and pop that out. They would get one of the coppers, right? But let's say that they have their 5th golem. What you do is you finish out that round. So in this case, with 2 players, the second player would get 1 more turn, then the round's over. With actually 5 golems is for 3 to 4 players. So if you have 3 to 5 players, bam, 4 to 5 players, 4 to 5 players is 5 golems. I can't do my fingers. I just realized as I was telling you guys, 2 to 3 players is 6 golems. So once someone hits the golem count, then you go ahead and do the end phase. Everyone else finishes their round. Once everyone's finished, the whole round is done, everyone's taken their turn, then you go ahead and you count up points. How you do that is you count the points on the card. Those are worth whatever points are on there. Any coppers are worth 3 points. Any silvers are worth 1 point. Any crystal that's not yellow is worth 1 point. And then you just kind of see who has the highest points. If there is a tie for highest, the last player to have a turn wins the tie. So that is all for how you play Century Golem Edition. It's a pretty quick, easy game, kind of fun. Not kind of fun, I like it, I enjoy it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm Steven with Cardboard Coalition. Help us grow the coalition, or the channel as it were, by liking, commenting, subscribing. Let me know if there's another golem or century that you like more, even the editions, because I'm kind of interested in that, or which century golem edition you like, because there's 2 other ones. I don't know if this one's my favorite, but I do actually enjoy this one too. But anyways, I'm Steven with Cardboard Coalition. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.